Om Jnana Timirandasya Jananjana Salakaya Chakshun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhustam Papitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupapada Mahyam Tadhati Sapadantam Vandeham Shri Guru Vijatapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sadhusatam Sahagana Gaganatan Vitam Sam Sadivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Vijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lolita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsta Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Sapta Kansana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vansha Kopratarubhyascha Kripa Sindhobhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mhm. Hare Krishna. By the way, when you're buying microphones for your new temple, don't buy unidirectional mics, the ones that are like this one and just go in one direction. Microphones are meant to protect you. Omni or what they call cardioid mic. Well, that's great. Just means that the speaker has to be always exactly speaking into the mic. Otherwise, you might consider a different strategy next time. But it'll work. I was at an academic conference that had exactly the same kind of mic. It took until the second day to figure for the speakers to figure out what the problem was. No, I'm just complaining because it's my nature. Okay. Now that we've gotten that out of our system, this is Srimad Bhagavatam 10th Canto, chapter. Prayers offered by Lord Brahma. The Sukadeva Goswami had told Parikshit Maharaj how the Brahma had stolen the calves and childhood friends of Lord Krishna, and how Krishna had bewildered Brahma by appearing himself as the cows and boys. He expanded himself into as many boys as had been stolen, and exactly duplicated the appearance and character of each one. Then, and the same for the calf. He expanded himself into all the castes. Phones, please. Pocket phones, pocket mein rakhiye. It's super distracting when you're looking at an audience that's doing this. Yeah. The temple has one phone for something. But you've got it. No, just that Bhagavatam class becomes a photo op. So Lord Brahma stole the calves. Lord Krishna appeared as the calves and boys. And then in this chapter, Lord Brahma, having been humbled, is going to offer his very substantial prayers to Lord Krishna. Each of these prayers is full of deep understanding of Krishna consciousness. And so these prayers are very important. And Sukadeva Goswami, as the spiritual master of Parikshit Maharaj, wants Parikshit Maharaj to hear very attentively and wants to keep his interest, his enthusiasm. Of course, Parikshit Maharaj is already enthusiastic, but still, enthusiastic hearers can be more enthusiastic. And it was understood that there would be more hearers in the future, as well as the sages who were gathered for this discussion. So from time to time, while reciting the pastimes of Krishna, Sukadeva Goswami speaks something just to encourage us to hear with great interest and attention. So this is the beginning of the verses given from that prayer. Tamayam sarabhatam nasargo yadartavani sujiteta samati dikshanam nabhyava achutasya yat Priyavitanam vasadi varta. Paramahamsas, devotees who've accepted the essence of life, are attached to Krishna in the core of their hearts. He is the aim of their lives. It is their nature to talk only of Krishna at every moment, as if such topics were newer and newer. They are attached to such topics, just as materialists are attached to topics of women and sex. Purport. The word Sarabratam means Paramhamsas. The Hamsa, or swan, accepts milk from a mixture of milk and water and rejects the water. Similarly, is the volume all right? You can hear in the back? Okay. Similarly, the nature of persons who have taken to spiritual life and Krishna consciousness, understanding Krishna to be the life and soul of everyone, is that they cannot give up Krishna Katha or topics about Krishna at any moment. Such Paramhamsas always see Krishna within the core of the heart. Santa Sadaiva Hridayeshu, Vilokanantu. Kama, desires, Krodh, anger, and Bhaya, fear, are always present in the material world. But in the spiritual or transcendental world, one can use them for Krishna. Amam Krishna Kamartana. The desire of the Paramahamsas, therefore, is to act always for Krishna. Bodham Bhakta Dvaitidana. They use anger against the non-devotees and transform pride or fear into fear of being deviated from Krishna consciousness. In this way, the life of a Paramahamsa devotee is used entirely for Krishna, just as the life of a person attached to the material world is used simply for women and money. What is day for the materialistic person is night for the spiritualist. What is very sweet for the materialist, namely money and women, is regarded as poison by the spiritualist. Sandarshanam Krishnam Yositam Hansa Hansa Vishapakshanato Prasad. This is the instruction of faith in the Mahaprabhu. For the Paramahamsa, Krishna is everything. But for the materialist, women and money are everything. So, Satam. Satam means the saintly person, but the good people, the people who are interested in what's sat, what's good, what's eternal, what's real. Satam, ayam, sarabratam. The Satam are sarabratam. They go for the essence of life. Just like in this body, the senses are external, but consciousness is essential. If I lose an eye, I'll live. If I lose consciousness, it's over. I can lose consciousness for a moment, but once consciousness leaves the body, life is finished. But we can have artificial eyes, artificial this, artificial that. So we can go on. So the devotees or any transcendentalist, they accept the essence. They take the mixture of matter and spirit, which is what we are now. They select spirit as the essential thing. And the fools accept matter as the essential thing. For them, the body is the essence. The gratification of the senses is the essence. Comfort for the body is the essence. The extensions of the body in terms of society, family, nation, are the essence. Do they take what's non-essential to be the essence, or what's temporary? Society, friendship, family are temporary. They won't endure. They may be there for some time, but they'll be finished. So a person who takes family life as the essence of everything is missing the point. The person who takes bodily comfort as the main thing to be gained is missing the point. But the person who sees that the advancement of consciousness from mundane consciousness to Krishna consciousness is called Sarabhrit, person who grasps the essence of life. Svapamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhaya. In Bhagavad Gita, even a slight bit of Krishna consciousness save one from the greatest danger. So what to speak of getting full Krishna consciousness, which one Brahmasokyam Ananta enjoys eternal transcendental life. So Sarvatam Nisarga, this is their feature. Yet Arthavani Sukisetasam, their consciousness is concerned with hearing Arthavani. Arthavani. Artha means that which has meaning, that which is value, meaning. Arthavani. Artha means profit. So those who are fools, they have their eyes on the bottom line, but it's only the bottom line of financial profit. And that can be lost at any moment, and that will be totally lost. They're interested in Arthavani, Money Magazine, Forbes Magazine, Financial Times. So many publications about money. Because Arthavani, which is there, but for the devotee, Arthavani is not about that which has no meaning and which is actually a loss. The person whose mind is only focused on money is wasting his time. Time is money. They're so focused on where's money, that they don't notice that their lifetime is slipping away without Krishna consciousness. That only for the bodily profit are they spending this human life, which can give the greatest profit, which they're missing. So, Ketasam Arthavani, you have to hear something. We're always hearing something. The materialist wants to hear the news. He wants to hear about dramas and fictions and Gramya Katha, village gossip. And if there's a global village, then global village gossip. Most important thing, first thing in the morning, check my social media feed, see what Gramya Katha is there, what is this politician doing, what is that politician doing, what do people say about what this politician is doing, what do people say about what he said. In this way, easily half hour out the newspaper, take the song, Vani, Vani Suti, they have to hear about something, so they hear about useless topics which waste the human form of life. But the devotee is interested in the actual meaning, actual profit in life, how to revive his spiritual nature and revive his eternal relationship. That profit is not available in any other speech. The other, how to eat, how to sleep, how to have sex, how to fight, that's there for the for the animal. But to understand Krishna consciousness is the prerogative of beginning. So, Sutavani, Arthavani, is the state of song. Pratikshanam, Bhavyavat, When do they want to hear this Krishna Katha? Pratikshanam. At every step, at every moment. Pratikshanam. Avyarta kala tvam. They don't like to waste time, even a moment or two. They always want to be engaged in something related to Krishna. And someone says, no, I'm not a Brahmin, I'm not a sadhu, I can't just sit all day and study Bhagavatam. Maybe sadhu can do that. But then, all right, whatever inclination we have, that can be turned toward Krishna. Kama Krishna Kamartam. We can, everyone has desires, but desires can be turned toward Krishna. Everyone gets angry, some of us more than others. All right, be angry for Krishna. All these demons that usurp the property of Krishna. How angry did Hanuman become? This Rakshasa, Ravan, has kidnapped Sita, and he just wants it for his own sense gratification. He was ready to practically burn down Lanka, except that we'll have to leave it to Ram to deal with it. But he was sufficiently angry to set fire. Oh, if you're angry, all right, be angry. Not toward the devotees. That's to be angry to those who dedicated their lives to the service of Krishna. It's not a wise policy. But to be angry at those who were scoundrels, who are misdirecting people towards something impersonal or void, created false incarnations and are worshiping ordinary human beings as God, or worshiping devotees as if the devotee was the supreme personality of Godhead. You can be angry at these kind of things. Those who are concocting something which is not contrary to the gospel. That we can do at Pratikshanam, at every moment. We have some tendency to work. All right, do that work for Krishna in this way. Dedicating everything. What is that? No. Shuddhikatam Stane Stata. This is in Brahmacharya. Stane Stata Shuddhikatam Tanuvan Manobhi. The devotees dedicate Tanu, the body, Van, word, and Mana, the mind. The mind has to think of something, so let it think of Krishna and Krishna's service. We're always speaking something, you can speak about Krishna. And just like Vrindavan, they're always talking about the wonderful activities of Krishna. Oh, Krishna killed this demon. Krishna's bewildering the minds of all the animals and the munas running in contrary currents. The calves and cows are stunned. They're just standing there, perking up their ears to hear the truth of Krishna. So they're always speaking. On Vrindavan, Yashoda Mai is churning butter, and while churning, she's singing the glories of Krishna. Even the gopis, they're angry. Krishna is coming and stealing all of our stuff, milk, yogurt, butter, and causing mischief in our houses. So they come and lodge complaints to Shodamayi. Your Krishna is doing all this mischief. But really it's just an excuse to talk about Krishna's wonderful activity. Pratikshanam Navyavat. The activities of Krishna appear to them newer and newer. Navya. Navya means newer, but Navyavat, they're not actually new because they're eternal activities. Nityali. Nityali. Krishna is eternally dancing on the hoods of Kaliya, eternally kidnapping Rukmini, eternally lifting Govardhan. He's eternally doing all of these things. But Krishna's eternal activities appear newer and newer. That's the nature of Krishna. In the material world, the so-called new activities, innovations, new news, breaking news. By the way, I went to high school with one of the founding members of CNN, and I saw him and met with him a few years ago. And my classmates, and he explained breaking news. The sponsors all buy slots, and you can be in this show, and that show, and this show, and this break, that break. But they found that the big sponsors, where did they want to be? They wanted to be next to breaking news. Breaking news. So then CNN just upped the breaking news. The news that used to be just news became the breaking news. Actually, it's the same old news, chewed and chewed again. And that's what the materialists want to hear. Again and again, the same tired topic. Another assassination, another murder, another election, another terrible thing, another wonderful thing. It's all the same stuff. It's not new at all. Charvata charvana. Chewed and re-chewed. But Navyavat, the pastimes of Krishna, which are not new at all, appear newer and newer to the devotees. So that after thousands of years, we're still talking about the topics of Krishna. And Ayam Tunavachipyama, Uttamasoka Vikrama. It's Naimisharni Sage said, we never get tired of hearing this Krishna Katha. That's Trindatam Nasakyanam, Svadu, Svadu. Today, at every step it seems tasty and more tasty. Because Sarabhikam, they know how to capture the essence of everything. So they're eager to use every moment of time to hear something about this. Navyavata, it seems newer and newer. Because Krishna is infallible at 2 seconds. He never fails to be attractive. He never fails to be enlightening. He never fails to be the well-wisher of the devotees. He never fails at anything. The materialists, their whole life is a failure. Those who don't inquire about Atma Tattva, their whole life is a failure. And they're the people that everyone's eager to hear about. They may be a great success in the world, or there may be a great failure. Success or failure, it's all failure. If one doesn't develop the eagerness to understand one's spiritual nature and to understand one's relationship with Krishna, then his human life is a failure. Manushya Janma, Janma Paya Lada, Janiya Shuniya. In spite of hearing, in spite of knowing, we're just wasting our life. So, materialists are eager to hear about such person. Kriya, Vitana, Kriya Vitanam Eva. The sadhus, the far Brit, they're eager to hear about Krishna. And then the comparison is the way the materialists are eager to hear about sex. They're eager to hear about sex. Who, well, first of all, just there was a big chunk of the publishing industry is just sex. Apart from outright porn, involved in publishing, that was involved in publishing. One of the biggest publishers, Harlequin. Who's heard of Harlequin? No? Good. But they publish, romance novels and all that sort of stuff. And huge. They outsell. They're one of the biggest publishers in the world in terms of volume. Because so many people just want to hear about fictional characters, their attraction to one another, and how they overcome all obstacles to get together. That's apart from outright pornographic stuff, or then there's soft porn, because the material, and then even then, or there's People magazine. It's still public, but it's still public. And what is it about People? The same thing. They're so eager to know about the sex life of this movie star, the sex life of that movie star, the scandal of this one and the scandal of that one. And then there's the music industry. It's almost exclusively sex, at least popular music. Tchaikovsky had sort of a lower sex quotient than the modern popular stuff. But so much of it. Because materialists, this is what they think of. They want to go to a college where there's a great social life. On and on and on and on. The materialist, practically speaking, wherever he looks, he sees sex. He meets a woman, he's thinking about sex. He's getting money, he's thinking about sex. Whatever it is, simply thinking about these things, money and sex. Because this is enjoyment for the material. So Eva, in the same way, the devotees or the Sarabrit, those who know the essence of life, are eager to hear about it. Because they're awake. Saanusha Savabhutanam. Yasyam Jagati Samyani, Yasyam Jagati Bhutani Saanusha. Those who are asleep to the real life are for money and sex. And they have what is this use of mythology and spiritual fairyland stuff. We want to hear about real life, money and sex. And the devotees, what is the use of all this talk of money and sex? We want to hear about Krishna. We want to do. Still in Indian culture, that tendency is there to hear about Krishna. Therefore, there'll be a Ramayana, a Mahabharata video series. But still the tendency is there, although it's being killed by the modern materialistic way of life. Still the tendency. For that matter, the tendency is there in every living entity. It has to be revived. Therefore, the Westerners also can be keen to hear about Krishna, eager to hear about topics of self-realization, topics of Krishna consciousness. This has to be revived. The Africans can be keen to hear about Krishna. The Australians, the Americans, everyone. This is the eternal consciousness of the living being. So this, Krishna Kirtan is meant for that. This is also Krishna Kirtan to talk about Bhagavatam, otherwise. And this is the real business of human life. And not just talking and hearing, but then after hearing, then you'll also want to speak about Krishna. We'll also want to remember Krishna. We'll also want to serve Krishna. Whole life dedicated to Krishna. This is life. Are there some questions? How to, when we read the books, how to not just see it as, oh, just look again, but something new. We should hear, therefore, in the association of devotees. We hear in the association of devotees, the Sangama Madhurya Sambhava, then the power, the potency of the topic can be realized. If we hear from professional reciters, that won't do the job. And if we just read on our own, that will be good. But when we discuss with the devotees, then the power comes out. Yes. Thank you. What makes it newer and newer? Is it because we're finding out new aspects? That's one way, definitely. Probably it's like scientists, they get together and they talk about their discoveries and they get excited about it. So the acharyas, that's another way, how to make it new. Read what the acharyas are saying about the Bhagavatam. They have newer insights. Newer means another angle, another angle. Even if you sit for the class, the devotees will have a different angle. There's always something new. So something like mining. There's always still some gold there. Of course, mines, not exactly because mines grow exhausted. But this is like an unlimited mine. always go deeper and find more. Nana Shastra Vicharaneti. What were the Goswamis doing? They were talking about Krishna Lila, but they're going through all the Shastras and they're finding throughout the Shastras something relevant to Krishna Lila, something supporting, something illuminating. So we can read the comments of the acharyas, the prophets. We can preach to others. That makes it newer also. When you speak the same topic to the people who are already familiar with it, that's nice. There'll be some enlightenment. But if you speak it also to those who've never heard it before, that's amazing. You're not just taught it. The same thing we fall asleep on in Bhagavatam class, turn somebody's life on its head. So it becomes newer when you speak it to a new audience. And what is that? Krishna says, no one is more dear to me than the Tasman Muni says, the person who's speaking to the devotees or speaking to make people devotees. It revives people's eternal nature. So that makes it newer. And also that we're curing our disease. As jaundice, to a jaundiced person, sugar tastes bitter. So to the person who's forgotten his eternal relationship with Krishna, there's Krishna Kathas, things, acne, fail, uninteresting. But as we cure that disease, then it becomes Navyavat. It becomes newer and newer at every moment. It's like a sugar cane taste. Someone was asked to be our street Maharaj, Prabhupada, that it seems like in the spiritual world it's always the same thing. Every day the cowherd boys wake up in the morning. Every day Krishna blows his flute and the cowherd boys join him. Every day they herd the cows. Every day they have lunch together. It seems like it's it's the same thing again and again and again. So doesn't it get boring? And Sridhar Maharaj answered, it's just like every day you take your breakfast, and every day it's like a new experience. Every day you relish. So in different ways, the newness of Krishna. Even Krishna's always expanding, always increasing, so his pastimes are always being energized with new features, new strength, new meaning. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining the Atmarama Shloka to Sanatana Goswami. I heard that you explained this shloka to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya with how many meanings? 64 different meanings. Could you please let me hear that explanation from you directly? The Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained the 64 meanings. Well, by your association, I just thought of another meaning. So there's always something new in it. Hmm. Yeah. But Tushanti cha ramanti cha, this is how the devotees enjoy. And we read it again, and there's all the stuff we missed the first time. I don't remember that. Therefore, we're reading Bhagavad Gita again and again. There's always something new there. We slept through it the first time, or we just missed this, or we missed that. There are all these points there that, or like when you're a kid, you don't understand the things that you see when you're a grown up. So there's always something more for those who go on reading and go on hearing and go on. Anything else? Meditate on Krishna, not your family. I didn't say exactly that, but I was pretty close. You're close enough. Yes. It's not that we shouldn't be interested in our children, but two things. Oh, great. Things that little toys that make noise. Okay. Um, Two things. Yeah, right. One is that we should see the children in relationship to Krishna. Krishna has placed this living entity under my side. So my duty is to free this living entity from the cycle of birth and death. Pitana sasyat, jananina sasyat, namochiyed yat, samupetya. No one should become a mother, no one should become a father unless he can deliver the person entrusted to him from the clutches of birth and death. That's called Krishna consciousness. Krishna never said in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, it's never said no one should become a mother, no one should become a father unless he can send his son or daughter to grad school. Hmm? But we make that our priority. My son should go to the best school, my daughter should go to the best school. Now she's finished her master's. Where will she go for her doctorate? Forget that. She's 3. So what classes can you send her to so that she'll be ahead? So that the whole life is focused on material achievement. And Motriate Mrityum is totally out of the picture. To be freed from birth and death, that's in those old books that we don't read because they're boring. But we live in the real world, and in the real world, education is important because money is important, because sex is important. You can't catch a good mate without money or without education. So we're very interested in our children and how they can advance in the world of falsity, how they can achieve something that will be lost in the due course of time, how they can gain what the cats and dogs have in a more polished form. This is our business. This is our responsibility as parents to make sure that they have the best material progress and freedom from birth and death, like priority 10. So the Krishna conscious parent thinks I've been entrusted with this great responsibility, so I have to do it. I have to free this person from birth and death, and I have to free myself from birth and death. So Krishna has sent me this soul for protection and for upliftment. That's my prime duty. Otherwise, how am I different from the animal? The animal also has kids. The animal also protects the kids. The animal also loves the kids. But there's no spiritual component, spiritual understanding. So the parenthood of those who are neglectful of the spiritual goal of life is not really better than the parenthood of the animals who also love their children. But those who are serious in spiritual life, they can be the best parents. They give the ultimate goal of life. That's one answer. Another answer is that finally, at the end of the day, Krishna consciousness is so important that it's even more important than our business experience. My job as a parent is a very important duty. But finally, Sarva Dharman Pratya, I can give up everything else to serve Krishna. That I can. Generally, it doesn't go like that. That I have to choose. No, it's either my children or Krishna, my family or Krishna. But it does. It comes. Prabhupada chose between his family and Krishna. He chose Krishna. Actually, at some point, it should be like that. In old age, it's not that, well, it's either my family or Krishna. Well, my family. I can't leave my family. One is enjoined. One must leave one's family. Anyway, now you're old. What will you do for your family? What will your family do for you? And just you'll be like a little caterpillar in a cocoon, just waiting for a silkworm in a cocoon, waiting for the silk merchant to throw you in the boiling water. In old age, at least. When we're younger, we say, well, when I'm old, I'll take the Krishna consciousness. And when we're old, we forget it. My family is more important. He did. He cut off my connection with the Yadus and the Krishnas and the others. That means cut off my relationship with my family from my mother's side, cut off my relationship with my family from my father's side, from my husband's side, from every side. Why? So that my attraction can be exclusively to you. So the family relationship is very important. Parent-child relationship is very important. Husband and wife relationship, very important. Everything should be done with full attention. But finally, Krishna consciousness is important. Okay. I'll talk for 2 minutes about the book, since it was advertised that I would talk about the book. There's the blue book. There's the red book. The red book is a commentary on a biblical book, a very philosophical, unusually philosophical biblical book from a Krishna conscious point of view. It's the first Hindu commentary on a complete book of the Bible, and it speaks Krishna consciousness openly and directly, and it's meant especially for outsiders, and actually especially for young inquisitive people. It's directly about the question of how life has meaning at all, and what that meaning might be, which is a question that especially arises for an intelligent young person. You're a little older, you've been to school a few more years, you've mixed with the girls enough, you forget about everything. But before that stage comes, there's always a chance that Not a chance. Very often, many people have all these questions. So this book is aimed especially at outsiders. It's written in simple, non-technical, non-academic language. It's suitable for academics. It's appreciated by academics, but it can be read by any middle school student. Yeah, any middle school student. The language is not tough, and the topics are great. Krishna consciousness. So this is meant for outreach, for young people, for colleagues, for friends, for everyone. There are no prerequisites. You don't have to know anything about Bhagavad Gita. You don't have to know anything about the Bible. You have to know English. That's the prerequisite. Okay, that's the red book. And the blue book is for the insiders, for the devotees, to the Prabhupada's Kirtan standards. Someone said to me, someone just took a copy the other day. I thought it was just for Kirtan leaders. No, it's not just for Kirtan leaders, it's for anyone who chants Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Why are we chanting? What should we think of while chanting? How should we do Kirtan? How should we not do Kirtan? What does Prabhupada want? What does he not want? Topics of should be of interest to all. So it's deliberately meant to be a book for every. That's the long and the short of it.